Alright, Louie, you look. I've got this, this is, well, it's not exactly old. I don't know how old it is, probably a few years old. It's a water pump for a Caravan. It's just ordinary 12 volt DC water pump for your Caravan. I was given this because I had to go and pick up a Caravan for somebody, and this was given in with the deal, but it's the wrong pump for their Caravan. So they were like, oh, you can have it. So because I gave my spare one away to somebody else, so now I've got a spare one again, but I don't know if it works. So we're going to look at it today and see if it works. And if it does work, happy days, because I'll have a spare one then for my Caravan. These are really easy to test. I'll show you how to test them in a minute. But I've managed to clean the bench off now. The bench is becoming clearer every day, and also so is the other bench. If there's one thing that I can't stand, and that's mess and just unorganisation. So I've been getting rid of loads of stuff, making everything just easier to get to, putting shelves up, and because if everything's messy you can't find what you want to find, and everything just gets tangled up. And if everything's nice on the shelf, all organised properly, there's no mess, you know, everything's clean and tidy. A clean and tidy garage, shed, house, home, whatever, equals a clean and tidy life as far as I'm concerned. No one likes to have a messy life, because that's chaotic, that's pure chaos. Anyway, let's get the battery up on the bench. We'll get a 12 volt battery on the bench, we'll get a bucket of water, and we'll get some test leads, and we'll see if this pump's going to be any good. We should have some test leads. Well, a bum of them. Right, we've got these ones. These test leads should be good enough. We can just see if it's going to work. We can just touch them together. Don't think we'd need any smaller ones. Now we use these ones. These will be perfectly fine for testing it. So we get them, we get the battery on the bench, we get the bucket of water, and away we go. Alright. One 12 volt battery. We're going to need 12 volts. Regardless what we do, we're going to need 12 volts. And I've got a bucket of, a rather large bucket of water. That's the only bucket I've got left. I need a fair amount of it. It's a bit dirty, but that's alright, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I can always disinfect the pump if I have to. So we'll put all of that in there like that. Now what we need to do is simply, on the end of this pump, that's where the water will come out, and then we've got positive and negative, or positive, negative, I don't know what way round they go, but because it's a pump, if you get the polarity round the wrong way, it won't matter. The pump will run in the opposite direction and the pump the other way, so all you've got to do is switch the polarity and it should pump in the right direction. So that's all we've got to do is work that out. So we get our leads, put them on the 12 volt battery. It's not going to stay on there, so I'm going to have to use a clip and clip that to that one. So that one's got positive on it. This one's negative. Like that. Now we should be able to put one clip on there like that, and if I touch this now it should pump some water, but if it does pump the right way it will be quite fierce. Nothing. Alright, let's try in the other direction. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So that might mean that the pump is no good, or the wires going to the pump is no good, one or the other. Pump's not blocked. I can blow through it. Let's try that again quickly now. Put the positive one there. Let's make sure we've even got power at the end of these wires. We should have. Let's use this. We should have power. At the end of the wires. We'll clamp that one in there. Clamp that positive one on the end of there. Touch this negative one. Here we've got 12.8 volts on the end. 12.8 volts. Oh, I can't show you. Let's take this little plug apart. We've got two screws, one there, one there. If we take this apart, we might be able to see if there's an issue within this plug, or we might be able to get to the wires. And there might be a loose wire, a dry joint, perhaps one of the wires has come out or something. Don't know until you take it apart, do you? But we'll take this apart. Alright, what we got in here, that's just a load of springs. That's our live. So we know that left one is the live, and the right one there, that's the negative. The wires seem to be connected, so there shouldn't be any issues there. Let's get it out of the bucket of water and then we can test for continuity. We should be able to test there and now to see if there's continuity or not, and that will tell us whether there's a break in the wire or anything like that. Perhaps we could possibly test there and now. So let me just get the meter. I'm going to use this little Kawitz smart multimeter. It's a KM201, and they very kindly sent me these meters to use. So if you'd like to buy one of these, you can always use the link in the description, and you'll be helping me out massively as well. So let's use this little meter, and it'll automatically, it's on auto there, so it automatically sense what we're trying to do. So at the moment we do that, continuity, and so what we got to do is put that one on the negative, that one on the positive, and we've got nothing there. So that means we need to try and find out why. Let's take the end of this pump off if we can. We should be able to get that off of there. And you can't really see much, but it does let you. We should be able to see whether the motor itself is going to spin. It does, but I don't know whether you can see that or not. That's, seems like there's a lot of play in there, and it's a little bit crunchy. Now that I've moved that, physically moved it, I wonder if we'll be able to get any joy out of it now. Nothing. Nothing again. So we're still not getting any joy out of that. Let's see how we take the actual pump itself apart. There must be a way to take it apart. Perhaps if I can get that little clip off there, I might be able to then. But that definitely seems a little bit It's not central to start with. I don't know whether it's supposed to be central. See? It's I would assume that's meant to be central in there. Let's see if I can get this clip off and we might be able to pry this apart. This looks like it's all moulded together though. But we might be able to pry it apart perhaps. Or maybe if I get a bit of heat on it. If I get some heat on that, it might melt that glue around there and we might be able to pull it apart. Quality assurance it says on that sticker. There's always the chance that this has been left with water in it and it's frozen over the winter. That could have happened. I just think that's a bit wobbly. Alright, let's have a look. Well, I've taken the two wires out from there and I've put constant power to it now, so we've got the two wires are out of those little terminals, so we've got the negative wire and the positive wire there. Constant power to them now from the battery over there. There's 12 volts. Should be more than, well, they're about 12.3 I think, so I'm going through there now. 12.67, 12.68 volts going through there now. That should be going through the other end. So if I stick the screwdriver in here, I was hoping. Oh, it made a buzz. Oh, can you hear that? So I think we can safely say the bearings in this little pump have gone, and yeah, the bearings have gone. So this little pump's had it. This is no good. So I think I might chop off the end of it. Actually no, I'm just going to take this whole lot off. That way I've got a whole spare thing there, and just a pump on the end which has had it. I've got a spare plug and everything there, so that's what I'll do. It's a shame, but that's really hot now. It's a shame, but it's one of those things. Let's get the old cutters. Actually, I might not even need to cut that. I might be able to just pry that off. Perhaps I can just pry that off. I get a bit better prior. I couldn't get that to come off very well with pliers or anything like that. I could possibly snip it. Let's have a look, see if I can snip it. Nah. So let's just literally cut the lot. This is just a water pipe anyway, so that can just be cut like that. And then these wires I can just cut down here like that. Just got positive and negative wires there. This pump is the bit which is no good, so that bit will go in the bin. Now I'll put this plug back together so that I don't lose any part of it. I'll probably better. Actually no, I won't put the wires back in now. I'll leave that apart like that. And I'll just stick the screws back in loosely. And then I've got a whole spare pipe with a electric plug then, just in case mine happens to break or somebody else's happens to break. I can help them out, because that's what life's all about, helping other people. You've always got to help other people. If you don't help other people, I mean, there's no point in being alive, is there? I mean, it's just kindness is the key to everything. Alright, you lot, so while we're on this subject of batteries and stuff, just a little bit of interesting information for you, because it might help you out in the future or something like that. So when you've got your car battery, it's important to remember, if it's dirty or even if it's wet, yeah, there can be still a current drain coming from the battery. So we've got the positive on there now, and we've got the meter. It's only on millivolts because this battery's not really wet. The wetter they are, the worse the current drain can be. But it's on millivolts, see? If we stick that on there, we've got 4.3 point, see? There's a current drain. I'm putting it on here, not even on there. It's on here. If I put it on the actual terminal, we've got 12.56 volts. Right, if I put it on the plastic there, we've got a drain of 1.5 millivolts, 2.1, 2.2. Now that might not sound a lot. In fact, today I had a battery on a roller, you know, like a roller, like a road roller. That had a drain on it. It was draining overnight, and when we looked at the battery was actually soaking wet because the battery compartment wasn't sealed in any way. So when it rained, water got onto the battery, went through the little lid and went onto the battery, right? So all of the top of the battery was all soaking wet. All around here was all wet. I had water in here and around here. And although it might not seem like it, and you might think, well, that's nothing, it doesn't matter, it was actually draining battery, and we had 6 volts. We put the positive on the positive, the negative on the plastic there, and it measured 6 volts just by putting it on there. Now, it's important to remember that, you know, if you've got your car battery and it keeps going flat and you think, oh, I must need a new battery. Not necessarily the case. You might not need a new battery. Look at it. Is it dirty? Yeah. Are your terminals clean? Because if you've got dirty terminals, that can also be a drain on the battery. You know, the voltage, it's just going. It's just going into nothing. It's going into the atmosphere, and you know, it can drain overnight, and if it gets really bad, it can drain over a few hours. It can go low enough where it won't actually start your car anymore. Go down to like 10 volts. Imagine if you've got a drain of 6 volts just going into nothing. It don't take long for it to go flat, does it? So just a little bit of information for you there. If you want to test that, you need a meter which is on constantly like that. If you've got one of these meters which are automatic, it won't pick it up. So that's important to remember. But anyway, thanks for watching, you lot. Appreciate every single one of you. I'll catch you on the next one. All the best.